And how you guys love farming Elder Gazer with 50 dragons. You grab your Tamer, grab your 50 dragons, you gate there, you have a blocker, and there you go. 50 dragons shooting at a single Elder Gazer there, and the 2 Gazer there farming 90k per hour. This you can do it only with your Tamer. But only this you can do with your Tamer. If you are into something more relaxing and with veterinary, for instance, you can do also this. Grab your worm, go to the AW, and you all kill it, and make sure you cast protection, make sure you cast reactive armor on your worm, and make sure to cure it because the AW poisons, and off you go. With veterinary, you can easily kill the AW with a single white worm, but not only that. You can see that slowly but surely the AW is going down. But not only that, you can also find the Baron. Easy peasy, Baron even easier than the AW. And very good loot, very good loot. So you take a look at that, protection, reactive armor, and off you go with bandages. Bandages that, of course, you use if you're using veterinary skill, but we are going to cover all the skills that are involved in the Tamer template. Yeah, and the Baron down. Now the Tamer is the ultimate money maker in game, because it allows you to use pets like this to farm Elder Gazers, it allows you to use white worms to farm various stuff. But we're not going to cover how to use pets. Here we're going to cover the Tamer template, and so the skills that are involved in the Tamer template, aside from the obvious. And we are going to talk a little bit of how to use the various skills that may be involved. Now, of course, the Tamer must have animal taming and animal lore. Now, to control pet, you need both skills. They have different weights. For instance, animal taming is 80% of the control chance, while animal lore is 20% of the control chance. Many people ask, what if I have 100 taming and 0 animal lore? Will I be able to control things? The answer is no. You need animal lore to control things, because to control dragons like this, you really need a level of taming weighted and lore weighted that is comparable to the taming difficulties, that is 93.9, and to control nightmares and to control white worms again. Same thing. So I'm telling you, even at GM taming, you can have some issues controlling these things, especially if you hunt with many of them. Animal lore, yeah, allows you to know if a pet is starving, allows you to know if a pet is happy or unhappy. But aside from that, it's a pretty useless skill. You just feed your pets anytime you fail a couple of 2 or 3 commands. You feed your pets, because every time you fail a command, the pet will be upset. So you gotta feed them. But as long as you are GM taming, GM lore, you normally don't have these kind of issues. Now, taking for granted that taming and lore you must have, I also take for granted that you gotta have magery, otherwise you're not gonna gauge your pets around, otherwise you're not gonna do nothing without magery. And we can focus on one template that is more PvP oriented, which is the five mages skills plus taming and lore. By 5 mages skill I mean magery, meditation, evaluating intelligence, resist spells, wrestle. So it's basically the 5 of the tank mage, and instead of swords tactics you put taming and lore, and you can pretty much PvP with this character. You can resist spells, you can dodge blows because you're not gonna wield a heli, so you need wrestling to cast spells, or otherwise you'll be hit every time. And you can also combo your spells with your white worm or even with your nightmare. This is my main character, and I really like playing that character. It really offers a lot of possibilities. The skills, of course, stats story, of course, are always going to be 100 strength, 100 intelligence, 25. For some people that use hiding on their tamer, I do not recommend hiding on your tamer. If your pets don't see you, they lose loyalty way faster. Okay, so if you're hiding, well, your pets are not going to be happy with that. And why would you hide? I mean, you have pets with you. They can provide protection. So hiding, in my opinion, is a skill that you don't need, even if somebody rolls with hiding. So people like to go around with veterinary. Now, I am against veterinary because because in an era such as this, where you don't have pet slots, I mean, you can hunt with 50 dragons if you would like to. So you're not restricted to like 2 dragons, or what was there, 1 dragon, 1 nightmare, I can't remember, with the pet slots in later eras. I mean, you can hunt with 50 dragons, so why would you need veterinary when you can hunt with 50 dragons? That's the question. Veterinary, on the contrary, is useful if you want to minimize your risks. I mean, if you hunt with 50 dragons, you risk losing 50 dragons. If you hunt with a single white worm, you risk losing 1 single white worm. It is replaceable in like a couple of minutes. And what veterinary also allows is that you can actually train pets. For instance, here you have your white worm. I mean, you want to train your white worm, and pets do train in this era. You want to train your white worm against barbarons, you can train your white worm against barbarons. I mean, you just use your bandes and off you go. There's nothing wrong with that. Somebody else like to have tracking on their Tamer. And why tracking? Now, tracking is a very powerful skill in this era. I don't have to tell you, you know everything about tracking. And if you don't know anything about, if you don't know everything about tracking, I suggest that you click up here the way I use tracking to track the whole map in 5 minutes, all the hotspots in 5 minutes. But again, tracking on a Tamer is useful to find nightmares, because you have 3 nightmare spawns. You have the nightmare at Cyclops, easy to find. You have the nightmare at Oasis, easy to find. You have the nightmare at Bridges. The spawn is very wide, and you're not gonna miss a lot of nightmares there without tracking. So tracking also is a very good skill used as a defense. So you're targeting here. How do you know that somebody is setting up, for instance, stealth bombers to bomb your turret and take down all your dragons in 20 seconds? How do you know without tracking? With tracking, you will know. So you have nothing to do here. You basically, all you need to do is loot the Elder Gazers. So you can just run tracking every now and then to see if somebody is setting up a trap. If a PK is coming, if a thief is coming to steal the gold of your Elder Gazers. So all in all, tracking, in my opinion, is a very useful skill to have on a Tamer, and you might want to try to sneak it in, maybe instead of, I don't know, maybe instead of resist, maybe instead of wrestle, even though I kind of recommend to always have wrestle on this build, because otherwise you will be hit every time, and you're gonna make PK's life much easier. Even if you have dragons, believe me that if you're hit every time, if a PK is guaranteed to hit you every time, they will surely abuse it. One interesting build that I find is the ultimate PvM monster, that is, again, animal taming, animal lore, of course, magery. And you want to add provocation and music. I mean, you can really have a lot of control on them, because you have your dragons, you have your white worm, and you can also provoke stuff and use your pets to kill them much easier. So that's also something that I recommend. I also have seen Tamers with cartography and lockpicking. Now, this might sound a bit weird, but believe me that when you want to do level 3-4 treasure maps, I mean, unless they are level 5 treasure map where you want to have your bard, level 3 and level 4 treasure map, which are still money, you want to need your Tamer, which is way more effective than barding. Okay, because you don't have barons to deal with, you don't have poison elementals to deal with, you just have demons, just lich lords, and much easier to do them with taming. So there is this template that is, in my opinion, is the ultimate money maker: taming, lore, magery, music, provo, lockpick, carto. Okay, you're not gonna roll with meditation, you're not gonna roll with resist, you're not gonna roll with hiding, you're not gonna roll with wrestle, but very good template. I mean, you go to a place, you can bard stuff, you can bring your dragons, you can bring your white worm, you can lockpick the chest, you can do 3 maps. It's very useful. Now, this video is not about how to raise animal taming, but in general, a few tips on the skill. Animal taming is best raised by taming the most difficult thing that you can tame. So for instance, you hit 65.5, you can start taming white wolves, go straight at white wolves. Okay, you hit 71.1, you can tame bulls, go straight at bulls. 77.7, go straight at giant dogs, and so forth until you reach the hellhounds, where you can, with the hellhound method, basically just GM taming AFK. Okay, animal lore, of course, you just macro it on your horse while you ride it. Animal lore, target horse, you can also ride your horse and pause 10-second loop, and again, magery, and all the other skills, I mean, something else. Basically, we discussed all the skills. I mean, you know, if you wanna, you decide where to go, basically. And by deciding what your template is gonna be, I mean, we made a sort of brainstorming of all the skills that might be involved in the Tamer template. You might also want to sneak in, now that I remember, peacemaking. It allows you to deal with weapons a little better, but again, it is really a bit strange. But now that you know everything in theory about the Tamer, and you know that you can make 90k per hour like this, and the Tamer is the ultimate money maker on Ultima Online, you already have a Tamer, you go grab your Tamer and go tame dragons like this. Or if you don't have a Tamer, you go start one. And if you want to start a Tamer, you might want to click top right here to see the taming guide on how to raise taming very efficiently. Stay tuned, see you soon.